Hi, welcome back to Grains in Small Places. Do you really enjoy the flavor of biscuits, but hate making them? I understand that process. So today I really wanted to share with you a fresh milled flour biscuit recipe that is not only easy to make, comes together super quickly, doesn't require any rolling, and doesn't require any cutting, no extra flour surface, anything like that. I know it sounds too good to be true, but let me share with you my fresh milled flour butter swim biscuits. So let's get started. Okay, so to start off with these butter swim biscuits, I'm gonna use soft white wheat. You could use spelt or einkorn or even my all-purpose flour blend, any of those options. If you're going by weight, that's the most accurate way. You don't really have to adjust the grain so much. But if you're going by volume, the soft white wheat, you'll need more cups or more volume. So I'll put a range in the recipe. So if you're using one of the other ones like kamut or the all-purpose flour blend or half soft, half hard, any of those combinations will work. But you'll use a little bit of less flour for volume. I hope this makes sense. But if you're going by grams, you don't really need to alter it a whole lot. So that's why one reason I really love to do my recipes in grams and volume, to kind of get you used to both ways. So let's measure out our about 320 grams. I'll make sure to put links in the description box below for this recipe, which will have both grams and volume and links to the things that you see me using here in case you have any questions about those. So there I go talking. I accidentally put too much. If you've been following me for a while, you know I tend to do that. Okay, so 320 grams. Okay, let me go ahead and set this to the side. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this on over to the mill. If I was milling in my normal mill, which is my Nutrimill harvest grain mill, I would mill right into this bowl, mix it up into this bowl. But let me show you the mill we're actually going to be using today. So let's head on over. So this is Nutrimill's new Impact mill. This is brand new from Nutrimill, and I have a $20 off coupon code to share with you for either one of these mills for anything in the Nutrimill or Bosch store, and the coupon code is Grainy. If you're interested in finding out more about this mill, I did just do a review video on it, so I'll try to make sure to link that video as well. Okay, so here is our freshly milled soft white wheat. Let me just move this to the side here so we can open this up together. And okay, here it is. So we're basically testing the fineness of this. It feels nice and fluffy. So I'm just gonna pour this in my bowl here so that we can work with it, because I don't want to mix anything up in the container that the mill came with. Okay, so to this freshly milled flour, we're gonna add 4 teaspoons of baking powder. And I always like to give my baking powder a little stir because they can settle, and especially with our lifestyle, with us traveling around, ours tends to settle. But it can even happen in a regular home setting. I love this baking powder. This is the kind without the added aluminum. And then I'm gonna use 2 teaspoons of salt. Now, if you're using salted butter, because this recipe is gonna call for unsalted butter, then you want to probably just do 1 or 1.5, depending on how savory or sweet you want the biscuits to be, because they can go either way. So we're using unsalted butter today, so I'm gonna use 2. This is my favorite salt. If you've seen me using that for a while, I've been really loving this Baja Gold, and I do have a coupon code in the description box below where you can save 10% off of your salt as well. Okay, and we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of sugar. This is raw cane sugar. You could also use honey, but if you're using honey, you wanna add it in with the liquid rather than with the dry ingredients. Okay, I'm just gonna give these dry ingredients a little mix. This really is nice fluffy flour, if you can see that. Okay, set this to the side, and we're going to use 2 cups of, if you have buttermilk, you can do buttermilk. That's a great option. I don't have buttermilk, but what I do have is a little bit of my whey from where I like to strain my yogurt. So I do have a video that shows you how you can make homemade yogurt, turn it into Greek yogurt, and then turn that into like a faux cream cheese. So that's like one of my older videos, but I still love doing that. So let me grab my whey. This is all that I have left, so I'm probably gonna have to sub with something else. But this is what I've drained off from, like I said, that Greek yogurt. Let me give it a little stir because it's settled or separated a bit. And I also, oops. And I've also found that this, if you strain this off, instead of saving a little bit of your yogurt to start the next batch, you can actually just use this whey. So if you're looking for reasons to use this up and not waste it, you can use it in biscuits and muffins and pancakes, and I've used it in my tortilla recipe, so all kinds of options there. So we're looking about a total of 490 grams, which I'm short, very short on that. Okay. So to turn this into a fake or faux buttermilk, I'm gonna add some vinegar to this, or you could add lemon juice. And that just gives us our acid that we need. So I did about 2 teaspoons of vinegar, which looks like I still need a little bit more milk. Our family's been loving this A2 milk. Okay, I went a little bit over, but that's okay, I'm fine with that. Okay, so what we're going to do is take our liquid here. It's okay if the vinegar makes the milk separate, that's fine, even if it becomes chunky or anything like that, because we actually want it to become acidic enough to help our biscuits raise. So what I'm gonna do is pour this in here. And you'll notice I didn't preheat my oven yet because I like to use that preheat time for basically my soaking time. So what we're gonna do is get this all mixed up, and then we'll preheat the oven. And while this is sitting, it should thicken a bit. It's already starting to bubble up and thicken, because it will allow the fresh milk flour to start to soak up all that moisture, and it also allows any of the bran to soften. So I'm just gonna make sure I have all of the flour off the bottom. Okay, so right now this seems runny to me. I am in Florida right now, which is very humid, so I may need to increase my flour amount, but what I'm gonna do is let this sit while I preheat the oven, and then we'll make our decision. So what I like to do is get whatever baking vessel you're gonna be using, which in this case, I'm using this 8x8. If you will have a large family and you wanna double this recipe and use like a 9x13, that would work as well. I'm using, again, all unsalted butter. So I like to put this in here, and then we're gonna preheat our oven with the butter in here. So we're gonna preheat our oven to 450 degrees, and that's probably gonna take somewhere between 25 and 30 minutes. So I'm gonna set this to 25. And we're just looking for the tops to be golden brown, and it depends on your baking vessel. That obviously can change things. Some take longer than others. Glass generally takes a little bit longer, so I may have to increase this time. So this is gonna go ahead and get preheated with that. Oven preheat, and then we want to make sure that we're very careful when we get it out to put the batter in, because it will be very hot. So I'll be back when the butter is melted, the oven's preheated, and make our decision on the wheat here if we want to mill some more. Okay, our butter is melted and our oven is preheated. So let's see here. So this has dried up and looks great. I don't think I need to add any extra flour to this. So I'm just going to pour this right on top of the hot butter and try to evenly distribute it as best as possible. You can see we already have some really beautiful rise in here. Okay, I'm just gonna try to spread this as best as possible. I just love this recipe because it tastes so good. Just like, you know, farm fresh biscuits without any of the fuss. Now, I do have a traditional biscuit recipe. It's a little bit different than what other people may be used to, but they taste amazing. So if you're wanting the traditional biscuit, I have that as well. I do also have a drop biscuit that's kind of like the Red Lobster Cheddar Bay, which you can also kind of have fun with that recipe. Okay, I moved the butter around with the knife a little bit, so there's some butter on here, but what you want to do is basically make a tic-tac-toe or divide them into thirds. It's not actually going to like cut them, but we're doing this, and this allows the butter to get in between. And then do the same thing the other direction. It's okay if you want to coax the butter through. Just be very careful because this is hot because it was preheated in there. That corner may be a little bit of a smaller biscuit, but okay. Just gonna kind of go over these again to make sure that we've got butter going all through there. So the butter will continue to absorb even after these are done baking. So that's one of the things you want to make sure that you allow time for. So we'll be looking for the tops to be golden brown, and that will happen. The butter will definitely help with that. And after we're done, I'll show you here, but the butter may still be separated. Allow the butter to absorb into the biscuits after baking before you serve them. So we're gonna go ahead and put this on into the oven. Okay, here they are, and oh my goodness, they smell amazing. So as you can see, the butter is still going crazy and bubbling. That's normal. And what we're gonna, I only did the 25 minutes, but if your oven, you may need to go up to the 30 minutes. Just keep an eye on them. But these seem pretty solid. They'll continue to bake as they cool down, and I'm gonna just wait until all the butter has absorbed into the biscuits, and then they're ready to eat and serve. So I'll let you take a look at them when we take them out individually so you can see what they look like. Thanks for hanging out with me today while we made these butter swim biscuits with fresh mold flour. I hope you give these a try. Let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and share with your friends, and thanks for stopping by Grains in Small Places. Goodbye.